Hey, how are you doing? I'm Vasco Duarte, your host on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, and I've got some exciting news. So, right now, as I record this, I'm holding in my hand the signed contract for our very first Global Agile Summit. We're all in, and I couldn't wait to share this news with you. So mark your calendars, May 18th to 20th of 2025 in Tallinn, Estonia. We're going to have a transformative experience. We're putting together an event that it's all about real-life Agile. It's not theory or buzzwords. It's practitioners sharing what's working, what's making an impact, and how they've overcome challenges that you too will have to face, or maybe even facing right now. We're bringing together the best stories in Agile, from product leaders to engineering wizards to business visionaries. These will be stories that will inspire you to action. This isn't just another conference. It's a chance to connect with the people that are shaping the future of Agile. And here's the best part. Right now, we're in our super early bird phase. And that means you can grab tickets at just 25% of the final price. Look, that's not just half off. It's half off of the half off. It's an incredible deal for our dedicated community members, just like you, listening to this right now. So at the summit, day one will be all about hands-on workshops. And days 2 and 3 will dive into leadership, product strategy, coding, testing, and everything that makes Agile thrive in organizations right now. Remember, these are all first-person, real-life stories. Now, whether you're a leader, a developer, or part of a consulting company, this event is built to take your Agile game to the next level. So don't wait. Go to globalagilesummit.com and grab your ticket today. Let's all make 2025 the year Agile truly transforms your teams, your business, and our industry. I'll see you all in Tallinn. And remember, go to globalagilesummit.com and get your super early bird ticket right now. It will only be available until the agenda is announced. So don't wait. Grab it right now. Right, now that that's out of the way, on to the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Friday TGIF episode this week with Ellen Grove. Hey, Ellen, welcome back.
Hey, Vasco. Lovely to be talking with you again.
Likewise. And of course, today is Product Owner Day here on the podcast. So we'll talk about great product owners in a minute. But first, Ellen, share with us what might have been, potentially, the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
The worst product owner anti-pattern that I've seen, and I've seen this a few times, a distressing number of times actually, is when the product owner is not the person who's actually in the room. There might be somebody in the room who has the title product owner, but they are not actually allowed to make important decisions. They're not allowed to make trade-offs. They are just a conduit for information coming from somewhere else. I can recall a team that I worked with where great team, lovely people, had a product owner in the room. And we discovered that the actual real product owner for this product was the CEO of the organization that we were working for. And so the PO in the room, every time the team asked them something about, hey, how would you like us to do this? Is this okay? We thought about doing this. Their answer was kind of, I got to go check, I'll let you know. And that's not what a PO, teams aren't going to be successful if they don't have immediate access to a product owner who's both informed and able to make decisions. Because if everything is a process of, I've got to take your question somewhere else and think about it and talk to some people and I'll get back to you for almost every decision, the team isn't going to go anywhere very quickly.
I like that, how you phrase it. The team needs access to someone who is informed and is able to make decisions. And sometimes that is the PO, and sometimes that could be somebody else together with the PO, right? Like could be a customer representative or something like that. But if we keep that in mind, somebody who's informed and is able to make decisions, then it's so much easier for us as Scrum Masters to do our job, because then we can look at the product owner and see, is the product owner informed? Are they able to make decisions? And if yes, then all is fine. If not, then we need to help the product owner, because it might be that they don't have enough information, or they're new and need to grow into the position, whatever the reason is, right? We need to give them that ability to be informed and able to make decisions.
Yeah, it's really critical, and it's an important part of the Scrum Master role, because a lot of Scrum Masters, especially when they're new to it, focus on, well, my job is to support the team in their process. And if you go read the Scrum Guide, it's like, no, you got at least 3 responsibilities: to the team, to the PO, and to the organization at large. And so thinking about, how do I support the Scrum Master, how do I support the product owner in their role, is a critical responsibility of being a Scrum Master. And I think one of the things that the diffusion of Scrum, Agile thinking, Scrum in particular, through the world has really surfaced organizationally, is a lot of organizations struggle with product ownership in a very big way. I've worked with countless organizations as a Scrum Master where it's like, hey, we're going to go in, we're going to set the teams up to deliver more effectively. And one of the impediments that we surfaced right away is, we can deliver, but there is an organizational deficit in having clarity around what we should deliver and having that understanding of what customers really need. And setting product owners up for success is critical to that. And I don't think a lot of organizations aren't set up to do that, because they actually, even very successful organizations, especially when you're talking about enterprises and things, not so much actual real product companies, but they don't think about their work as products. They don't have that sense of, oh, we actually consciously need to think about what do our customers want? How do we meet those needs? How do we shorten the line of feedback between the people who are using whatever we're building and the team that's going to build it? This is so radical that it causes all kinds of issues.
Yeah, I mean, and it starts with the language, right? Because in many organizations, they don't talk about projects. They talk about releases. They don't talk about products. They talk about releases and projects, right? So the whole product concept isn't even part of the vocabulary.
Yeah, it's very foreign to them. And I'm certainly seeing that a lot. I coach a lot in government at the moment, and the idea of those services are products that there are customers out there using is very novel. And it's not just government, by the way, lots of big enterprises, especially ones where a lot of money comes in and they don't think about their services products. And yes, I'm looking at you, financial industry, right? They don't think about what's the problem we're solving for the customer. And so when you bring Scrum into it and go, hey, we need to understand that we're doing the right things for the customer. That's part of what we're trying to build into the DNA of how we work. That's kind of crazy. And so that's kind of, I'm going to say that's a whole bunch of the PO-ANT patterns that we're talking about in this episode rolled up into one. But it makes it very difficult to have effective product ownership for the team.
Yeah.
Because it makes it very difficult to have those informed decision makers who are working closely with the team to help guide their work.
Now, of course, there aren't only bad product owners or product owner anti-patterns. There are also some amazing product owners who exhibit quite an in-depth understanding of the role and why it matters. So share with us one of those, potentially, Ellen, the best product owner you've ever worked with. How did they work?
So despite the fact that I just threw financial companies under the bus, actually some of the best product owners I've worked with, one in particular, was at, I'm going to say, one of the newer banks where I've worked as a Scrum Master and a coach. I was actually a Scrum Master in this situation where we had a product owner who was very well versed in what the customer needs were. He was clear about the product that we were building, because this particular bank did have some product thinking built into what they did. So he knew what his product was. He was out in regular contact with stakeholders and customers and was bringing that picture to the team, was still able to make time to be available to the team to answer that question and share the knowledge. And what was most important was brought the team with him sometimes when he went out and talked with people, when there were user interviews happening, when there was, research. Let's actually go and talk to people who are going to use this thing that we're building. He made a point of making opportunities available to people on the development team to go along with him and get firsthand experience of what the customer's experiences and desires and wishes was. And I wish that wasn't as rare as it's been in the teams that I've worked with, because often POs end up being just one link in that chain of information. And they focus about how do I bring that information to the team most effectively, as opposed to how do I take the team to the information that they need to make good implementation decisions. And so thinking about it that way, that's one of the things that makes a really great PO. How do I get the team out of their box, out of the building, so to speak, to go and see what's really going on? Because that way I'm not the only person bringing them the information. They have direct firsthand experience that they can use to inform their decision making about what the best way to solve the customer's problem is, because they've seen the customer. They've actually seen the customer. And as I said, I wish that wasn't as rare as it's been.
Well, one of the things that I really like about this is this, or at least how I understood it from what you explained, is that the product owner understood that product ownership was not only his or hers, it was also the team's responsibility, right? Like this wanting to bring the team into the conversation with the customers and users, right, is one example of that. And I find that is often missing. And when it's present, it is an amplifier of the potential that the product owner already naturally brings in, because the team can bring the technical innovation, they can widen the thinking of the product owner and help them realize different aspects, different approaches to solving problems that they would not be able to do on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think this is critical to success in Scrum, right? I think when you come from an organization that has I'm going to say roles and responsibilities, kind of handoff mindset, people think, oh, as a product owner, I do this. I'm the custodian of this sort of information. My job is to make sure I get that information to the team. The team is the custodian of all of the decisions about how do we do the thing. And I just need to make sure they know enough to do the right thing. As opposed to thinking about it, one of the agile principles is about the development team and the business working together every day. And the reason for that is to reduce that handoff, to really set the team up with the information they need to make the right decisions. One of the things that we're trying to do when we're working in Scrum is to create that collective shared understanding between the people who understand the business part of the problem, the customers as represented by the product owner, other stakeholders who have other needs, about this is why we're trying to do the thing that we're trying to do and what a successful outcome looks like. And then the development team who brings, and this is the how we can solve that problem. But in order to do that well, they need to have a shared understanding. They need to have shared vocabulary. They need to have a little bit of shared experience of the problem in order to do that really effectively. And so product owners who, as you said, I love how you put it, about understand product ownership as it's not just something that lives in one person's head. It's a capability that needs to extend through the team, but there's this one person who that's their focus, and their goal is to help diffuse that through the team. That's how you need to think about the role. Same with being a Scrum Master, right? Scrum Master brings, I'm thinking about the problem from a certain point of view, but I'm not the only person who does that. I'm trying to diffuse it through the team. That's what makes Scrum Masters successful. That's what makes product owners successful.
Beautifully said. Ellen, we're getting close to the end, but if people want to know more about you and the work that you're doing, where should they go?
Well, you can always connect to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect to people. I'm happy to talk. I'm going to say my web presence is kind of a bit of a shambles at the moment. But if you Google my name, you'll find some of the presentations that I've done at conferences around the world. I like to, I'm just trying to think if my presentation about humble inquiry is online somewhere. I'm not sure that it is, but I actually don't keep track of which of my talks get recorded. But anyhow, if you Google my name in Agile, you'll find some of the things that I've talked about online at various conferences. And as I said, connect to me via LinkedIn, and I'm always happy to converse.
Absolutely. And why not everybody send out a note with a question and connect with Ellen on LinkedIn? That's a great way to make a connection. Ellen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here and sharing all of that knowledge and experience with our community.
Oh, thank you. It has been absolutely delightful talking to you. I've had a lot of fun.
We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.